This program was produced in collaboration with
La Trinité and la Société Nautique are very proud to welcome the X-Gold Cup.
All over the world, X-Yacht sailors get together to enjoy the pleasure of sailing and racing at the X-Yachts Gold Cup, an international event, arrived this year at the 9th edition, celebrating this famous Danish shipyard.
It's very easy to sum up the origins of the X-Yachts Gold Cup. One of the main features of this shipyard is producing very competitive racing boats, a quality that I think we've never lost. And so, the X-Yachts Gold Cup has been organised to gather X-Yachts together and let them race, one against the other. In other words, we wanted them to discover the qualities of these boats, not only when they're cruising, but also when they're racing.
We started the event back in 97, I think it was, in Lavagna in Italy. And the idea with the event is that every third year we have the event in Mediterranean area. Next year will be in the Northern Europe area, also in Scandinavia, and the third year it is here on the west coast of the European continent.
Fifty-eight X-Yachts boats are moored at the quayside of La Trinité-sous-Mer harbour, mainly coming from France, host country, but also from Belgium, Ireland, England and Scandinavia, all together to sail in one of the most famous and difficult racing field of the west coast of France.
Quiberon Bay is a great place to race boats. It's rather sheltered and so the waves are not too big, but it's complex from a wind point of view. Wind direction can be slightly altered by the coast and the current can also cause problems because it flows in all directions. It's very interesting and very technical. You always have to be in the right place at the right time.
Here we are, in front of the Quiberon Bay plan. The coast is very indented. Here we have the Belle-Île Island, that shelters the Quiberon Bay, with the renowned Pointe La Teigneuse, which is not very nice, especially with bad weather. And then we have the Watt Island and the AUDI Island. As you can see, the Quiberon Bay is very sheltered, even when the ocean outside is rather rough. La Trinité is here with its channel. And here, just after the small Meillabon Island, there is the entrance of the Morbihan Gulf, a very beautiful landscape that really deserves a cruise, if possible with an X-Yacht boat. A very nice cruise until the Île aux Moines, a wonderful island in the Morbihan Gulf, a paradise for sailing in the water surrounding Belle-Île, the Watt Island and the AUDI Island.
Alors, comme on parle de régate, la chose
Since we are talking about racing, the most important thing is the wind. Usually in this area, the winds come from west, except from some depressions, who pass very quickly. When we have anticyclonic conditions, like yesterday and today as well, the wind turns eastward and becomes a thermal wind. In the morning and in the night, the wind comes from northeast, since the land gets warmer. At midday, the winds turn to south, entering from the bottom of the bay, and then it blows again from west. This is the classical wind of this region.
In the morning of Friday, June the 30th, the crews of the 58 boats taking part in the 9th edition of the X-Yachts Gold Cup were on board for the last check, the final tuning, before going out at sea for the first racing day. Two starts, the first for boats longer than 11.40 metres and the other for the smaller boats. A weak wind around 6 to 7 knots blew on the starting of the first race. In the big boats group, IMX 45 Carruquera of Jean-Briac Nicole immediately cleared up who was the fastest boat on the water. He was first at the first windward mark and nobody succeeded in overcoming him. Among the smallest boats, Ixibix crossed the finish line in first position. Since the first race, he was immediately clear that the main goals of sailors was not hampering the other boats with aggressive manoeuvres. The watchwords in the water were fair play and respect. And if everybody applies that, racing is even funnier and cooler.
Well, it was certainly an aggressive race, but there was lots of fair play in it too. We had some unpleasant episodes, let's say, but everybody afterwards was ready to say sorry and then start smiling again. So everything was just fine. I think there was much more fair play than we're used to seeing here. I personally just had one unpleasant meeting, but everything was immediately cleared up after that. Definitely better than what we're used to seeing here in France. The start was very hot and nobody was ready to give way if they didn't really have to. I've seen great sportsmanship and fairness.
The French are by and large, there are an awful lot of French people at the regatta and they're very competitive sailors and they've taught us a thing or two about racing. We thought we'd do very well, but we suffered at their hands and we'll come back again.
Great sportsmanship, technical preparation and team spirit. These are the main features of X-Yachts owners. The same values shared by AUDI that this year as well wanted to join its name to one of the Danish shipyards.
Here in France, we decided to work together with X-Yachts because we share exactly the same values, sportsmanship and innovation through technology. And Audi has recently proved this by winning at Le Mans. And it's through this spirit of sportsmanship that people can have fun while they're at the helm of X-Yachts boats. Yachting, and especially sailing, have been chosen by Audi to create a synergy. We don't want to support one person or one activity in particular. And that's why we opted to work with X-Yachts, a group that gathers many owners together and shares with Audi the same goals and the same target.
After the first race, the wind increased by 5 to 6 knots, achieving 10 to 12 knots. The race committee decided then, after 2 windward-leeward races, to mark out a coastal race of 12 miles. In the Group A, the one of the smaller boats, the first place was still held by Numte, an X-37 of the French Françoise Rognone. Among the big boats group, it was the X-Yachts designer, the Danish Niels Jeppesen, at the helm of his X-46 Tomcat, the winner of the long race of this X-Yachts Gold Cup. Second ranked was Carruquera, who, after 2 first places in the first 2 windward-leeward races, is the most serious candidate for the final success.
This is an IMX 45 and I've been racing on her for 4 years, always with the same crew. The boat was designed for the 45-footer 1 design class. She's 13.75 metres long, displaces 9 tonnes and has a sail area of 130 square metres upwind and 170 square metres downwind. The first 3 races, well, in the first we were rather cautious. We wouldn't want to get too aggressive too soon. In the second, we were definitely more at ease and we finished 5th. In the last one, thanks to our wonderful downwind speed, we made up ground on the leaders and we ranked 4th of 5th. We're very happy with our performance. Today we were very fast because our boat is quite at ease in the weak winds we had this morning. The races were very exciting because, well, we've had different conditions for almost every race.
There are many reasons to choose an X-Yachts, and we wanted to let the owners speak in order to know what are the secrets of success of this shipyard.
I've been enjoying these boats for 10 years now, and I can tell you it's really a pleasure to be at the helm. I was looking for a high-performance and comfortable boat. This is the image I had in the past of swan boats, but now X-Yachts is very, very good. They are producing high-quality boats which are very comfortable for cruising and even suitable for racing. Why X-Yachts? Because for us it's the best combination between pleasure, power and quality. Very professional brand. I wanted a fast boat, but very comfortable and with refined details, especially below decks. I like to live on board and go cruising and be comfortable when I'm doing it. Very reliable construction. These boats are performing well enough to allow a sufficiently skilled amateur to set them up the way he wants and have a lot of fun on board. These boats are great fun.
The X332 Sport is a pleasant boat for racing, very light and quick in response. It's a great fun to be at the helm, and they are very comfortable as well for cruising.
We chose X-Yachts because they have an excellent combination of sailing, racing and of cruising. So we, for instance, we were able to travel all the way from Ireland to here very comfortably and then go racing. We just changed the boat around and put on all the racing gear and went racing, and it's a fast racing boat and a good cruising boat.
And after 3 tough races, everybody back ashore for a bit of rest and to enjoy a relaxing dinner under the party tent. Another occasion to have fun all together after a long day on the water.
Everybody's very friendly. Even if you don't know anyone, you immediately start talking and joking about the races. We all love sailing. We have the same boat, the same shipyard, and we've got so many things in common. It's just brilliant.
We had great fun ashore.
Wonderful atmosphere.
X-Yacht shipyard was born in 1979, and they immediately started building fast and performing boats, winning any race in the IOR class. These numerous successes grasped the attention of many pleasure boat owners, seeking for fast and high-quality boats, suitable also for cruises. Nothing was much simpler than giving to racing boats the comfort and the details of a cruising boat, the right mix, which remained unaltered even when IMS replaced IOR.
What led to the end of the IOR classes, I think, was that the boats had to be very distorted in the hull lines. They had to be had to have a very strange shape to have a favorable measurement or rating, and the stability were heavily penalized. Computer measurement of the entire hull shape, and keel and rudder. And EMS was very popular for many years because, especially in the beginning, before the good designers started to find the loopholes, healthy boats, production boats as well, like EMX38 from '93 was capable of winning a European championship, which made it possible for more normal people, to buy a boat not too expensive to race, and after 3, 4, 5 years sell the boat for a relative good second-hand value.
The X-Yachts is a famous brand, appreciated all over the world. Great merit goes to him, to Niels Jeppesen, who has designed nearly all the boats of the Danish shipyard.
I can't tell you which boat is the best, because the new range we started to develop 3, 4 years ago, they are very similar. The X37, the X40, 43, 46 and 50, and now the new 55. They're basically the same sort of hull lines, same philosophy on the keel, rudder, rig plan, everything. And they are equally good, in my opinion, as a cruising boat or even as a racing boat. The ideal, in my opinion, that a well-prepared cruising boat, if it is built and designed with a bit of consideration, still can make it comfortable or enjoyable for the family to, let's say, 3, 4, 5 times a year to take part in racing.
Created in 1991 at Port Grimont on the French Riviera, X-Yachts France was headed since the very beginning by José van de Castelle, who, after having started up the activity in the Mediterranean coast, opened also 2 branch offices on the west coast of France.
In 1998, I opened an office here in La Trinité, since this was the home of sailing on the Atlantic coast of France. This office immediately had great success. We sold many boats, and this led to a great turnover boost for our company. This is why last year we opened another office in La Rochelle, hoping it will have the same success as we've had here in La Trinité.
Among the 58 boats present here, there was also a worthy representative of IOR boats, Tayak, a 3/4 tonner built at the beginning of the 1980s.
Why did I buy this 3/4 tonner? Well, I bought it after a 3/4 tonner championship held in England, where Jeppesen, the X-Yacht designer, won the race.
Cette régate. La longueur, il fait 10 mètres 06.
The boat is 10 metres 60 long, 3 metres and a half wide, and draws 1 metre 90. She has an elliptical keel too.
Avec une quille elliptique.
The second racing day was not lucky as the first one from the weather point of view. Aeolus, in fact, was very late, and once arrived, he never blew at more than 6 to 7 knots of wind. Even with weak winds, the boats who took the lead during the first day are still at the forefront of the fleet. Carruquera of Jean-Briac-Nicole won in fact the fourth race, taking the first place also in the overall ranking. He is the winner of this X-Yachts Gold Cup.
Everything was just great. We won our third race out of 4. I think we deserve first place. Very happy and very good organisation as well.
In the small boats group, the winner was an X362 Sport Exhibix, owned by Frank Lang, one of the numerous boats coming from La Beule. Second place for Numteg and third for the Group Paprec.
We're happy because the fleet from La Baule Pouliguen made very good results. We won our group and another boat from Le Pouliguen ranked second in the other.
The race committee was mainly composed by the masters of the Société Nautique de la Trinité-sous-Mer, one of the oldest sailing associations in France and one of the top sailing institutions in terms of numbers of permits issued.
La SNT est un club qui a 127 ans cette année.
La Société Nautique de la Trinité celebrates its 127th birthday this year. We've been racing winter regattas for 30 years now, and at the moment there are about 100 boats from the end of September till December and 130 boats from January to the end of March. The winter season ends up with the famous Spi Ouest de France, attended by 500 boats at the beginning of spring. The quality of the fleet's very high, and there are many X-Yachts boats in the top positions.
As imposed by the X-Yachts philosophy, after race there is fun. And so the prize giving was cheered up by another funny and hearty night that culminated with the victory of the French team at the World Cup against the Brazilian champions in a memorable quarter-final.
The next edition of the X-Yachts Gold Cup will take place in the Mediterranean. Last year was Norway, this year France, so a Mediterranean country will be selected. We know the atmosphere will be joyful and warm, just like this year in La Trinité, and we know as well that many French boats will take part. See you next year in 2007 for the 10th edition of the X-Yachts Gold Cup.
This program was produced in collaboration with